Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of Warships. And today it's once again me playing, and I'm in the Scharnhorst, the tier 7 premium German battleship. I'm on the map New Dawn in a 3-point domination game mode. It's a tier 7 battle, so I'm top tier. There is no enemy destroyer, there is no carrier, and this is basically some dream matchmaking. Now my team has a destroyer, and in domination that's already a big advantage. Unfortunately the destroyer took some time loading into the battle and he has just now started moving, but not a big deal. Now my plan is, together with my division mates, we are 3 top tier battleships here, we will go towards Point Alpha and we will just push here pretty hard, hopefully take that point and then move the whole party center. Now thanks to having a destroyer we should be able to gain a capture point advantage, hopefully. Now there is one enemy cruiser in the center, but I'm sure he will soon realize that it's not a good place to be. So basically the center should open up for our destroyer. Ideally our destroyer would just go there and capture. But we shall see how that turns out. On a side note, by the way, my replay upload link to Warships should be fixed. I should once again be notified if you upload a replay that way. But I might have missed uploads from last week or so. So if you're unsure if I saw your replay and you wanna make sure, you can always just email me with a link. Anyway. So there are some cruisers around with torpedoes, so that's something to watch out for, although the French ships don't have too many torpedoes. But I'm not charging straight into A just yet, I'm waiting for the Emile Bertha to go down, and then I'm rather confident. Now obviously I don't wanna go here on the outskirts, that would take too much time. I really wanna go inside the cap right there. And now with any threat of torpedoes taken care of and the La Galissonnaire should go down here. Yes, very nice. So now I can go in there and cap. It's not like I'll be able to cap anyway under fire, so this Scharnhorst will interrupt me, which means going in there a little bit faster wouldn't have made a big deal in the first place. Now I don't overly care much for this Scharnhorst, he is retreating and we definitely don't wanna chase the Scharnhorst. What we want is we wanna move towards the center as fast as possible. The main enemy force is here down at Point Charlie. We have some ships here in the center, but they really need us. They can't stand against those odds. And those ships here are retreating, which is quite nice. Now we really wanna get our force as soon as possible a position to take the center. Now of course we haven't captured Point Alpha yet. My ships are on the way in here and I switched to high explosive here, by the way. I wanna set that Scharnhorst on fire. Now he is currently showing broadside because he had to turn because of the zone wall, so I should have stayed with armor piercing probably, but now he used his damage control ability, which means he's open for fires again. So at this point I decide to just stay with high explosive and set more fires, but considering that he isn't turning, I mean the Scharnhorst really should turn in our direction, there is no way he can run away, and if he's angled towards us and if he gets closer he can deal more damage before he goes down. But if he continues sailing like that, I really should be using armor piercing, but you know, I got my fire. And he's almost down. Well, I guess he is healing a little bit, so... And look at that, he is turning away once more. But nothing will save this Scharnhorst. We have our Point Alpha finally, and now we can hopefully move towards the center. Now on the not so bright side, our only destroyer has never seen the inside of a capture point so far. And I mean the destroyer could have taken the center point for a long time now without any trouble. He is a pretty sneaky destroyer. He could also set up to delay any push from Point Charlie, he would actually greatly benefit himself from being in the center. Instead, he decided to go here on the outskirts. He probably wanted to cut off the battleship running away, which is kind of pointless. If a battleship's already powering at the zone wall, there isn't much reason to chase it down usually. And, you know, especially if you're the only destroyer and he can't, like, really flank anyone from here, right? This whole area where he is, there are no enemies. So now he has to go a long way until he can make something work with his torpedoes. And those ships down here are sailing away from him, which makes his torpedoes even more useless. So the destroyer unfortunately has brought himself in a pretty bad position. And since he's the only destroyer, he could carry this a lot. But anyway, I mean, there is an Atlanta here. Atlanta is obviously a threat for a destroyer. But nevertheless, I would have preferred him here at the central location. Now, meanwhile, I'm just pushing here. I'm a Scharnhorst. I'm okay being the tip of the spear. The Atlanta has very short-range torpedoes, so I'm quite safe here. Yet now I will make my way into this cap circle and then probably hold position at an... well, somewhere angled against the enemies, hopefully. And well, this Atlanta is in a pretty bad spot. He has overextended himself and he isn't even close enough to use his torpedoes, so this Atlanta will go down without accomplishing too much here, I'm afraid. Well, great point. Pretty nice for us. So, now I have some support here behind me. There is a Gneisenau in front of me. The Gneisenau is almost in torpedo range, but I don't think he wants to push further, and I don't want to push further either. There is also a... and yes, those are Atlanta torpedoes. They didn't have the range, so no problem. Now this Gneisenau probably wants to hold position here, same as me. We also have an island between us, so we aren't all that tempted to use torpedoes against each other, I suppose. The Colorado here is nicely showing broadside, and my shells don't hit anything. Now I'll focus the Colorado because he is showing broadside and I should be able to do a lot more damage to him, and well-angled Gneisenau is... well, is a problem. Now I can use high explosive and try to go with high explosive against the Gneisenau, but the Scharnhorst high explosive isn't that great. Nevertheless, I've switched to high explosive now. We have a Leander charging in that might be a bit reckless. I mean, we are taking the Gneisenau down just fine and he's just exposing himself pretty much. Now unfortunately I have high explosive loaded and I see the broadside of a Mutsu. But I'm switching back to armor piercing now, and maybe we can finally get the center cap. Now we still haven't taken the center cap because all our ships here are under fire, and our destroyer makes no move to help us out here. Even worse, our destroyer could have just grabbed Point Charlie for free, but he got taken out by a torpedo from a battleship. So our destroyer got sunk by a torpedo from a Mutsu. Without ever seeing the inside of a cap circle, I'm afraid, which is kind of sad. Now, we do have more capture points, but we have less ships. Then again, we still have 3 top-tier battleships. Well, the enemy have 2 top-tier battleships, so there is that. Now I'll turn around here and intercept this Scharnhorst. Thankfully, the enemy's positioning isn't that good. They have quite a few ships that are currently unable to shoot us because of islands. Now those torpedoes, I don't expect them to do much. I actually expect the Scharnhorst to probably turn in my direction. But I assume that I can use the torpedoes on the other side, which means those are just... I mean, if they hit, I'm happy, and it looks like they actually are going to hit, which is surprising. I mean, my enemy is a Scharnhorst. There is no excuse for not knowing that the Scharnhorst has torpedoes. And yeah, I like that. Nice. So now I have a Cleveland in front of me, which is showing broadside, and I have a Colorado to the right of me. Now the Colorado can't shoot at me yet, but he is probably attacking my teammate. And, well, I'm a lot better at brawling than a Colorado, so I'm going to charge him. And I'll just use my guns in order to get some shots into this Cleveland. Unfortunately, the Cleveland realizes that he's showing broadside and is turning away. But I think I can use my torpedoes against the Colorado. Now, I wanted that at first, but then I spotted the Omaha. And I can't use torpedoes when I have an ally sailing into them. So, gotta wait. Now the Omaha is trying to torpedo our enemy here, and it looks like he is failing, which is sad. So now I have an opportunity to use my torpedoes. The Colorado just got hit quite nicely, and yeah, that was a pretty big hit on my part as well. So I was contemplating for a moment and not using my torpedoes, and honestly they are pretty much wasted. But I assumed that I wouldn't need them anyway, and was a bit unprepared for that big hit against the Colorado. I assumed that I'd need the torpedoes there. But anyway, looking nice as well. We have 3 battleships against 2 cruisers and 1 battleship, and we are all 3 top tier, and none of the enemies is top tier. So this Cleveland is almost to the zone wall, and he will be unable to run any further from there. So we only, well, we need better hits than that. But he should be going down soon, and my secondary start, it looks like the other Cleveland came around here. Now my torpedoes haven't quite reloaded yet, but I expect the Cleveland to not charge me anyway, and oh my god, the Mutsu has pretty big guns, and it looks like he just hit me pretty decisively. So, and also the Cleveland is coming actually this way, and this means I can use my torpedoes. Considering the low health of the Cleveland and that he's so close, I should have tried finishing him with guns probably, and saved my torpedoes for the enemy Mutsu. I mean, this Cleveland is in crossfire from multiple battleships anyway, so he went down. And unfortunately I am now on fire and I can do nothing about it. I used my amateur repair to get rid of 2 fires a little bit earlier, and now my torpedoes on this side are on cooldown. So I could have done that better. I should have used my torpedoes against the Mutsu. There is no way I'm surviving this, so just maybe a little bit more damage from my secondaries before I go down here. And there is it, go down. But it shouldn't be a problem, to be honest. When we look at it, I still have 2 teammates and the Nagato is very healthy. I have trust in my division mates, they will hunt down the last remaining ship. We also have more points, more capture points, so we would win by time as well. And now we have jumped forward a little bit because the 3 battleships were just maneuvering around an island. And the battle is on once more. My teammates have split up to corner the Mutsu. And looks like he just got a pretty nice hit against the Scharnhorst, but the Mutsu is out-tiered here. And he's sailing straight into the Nagato's guns. There was never much of a chance for the Mutsu, but he is going down here fighting. And this is the win. Now let's take a look at the results. I managed to get about 2000 base experience, and it was an interesting match. Could have been a lot easier if our destroyer would have played more objectively oriented. So while the matchmaker gave us a big advantage, our team didn't use it. So it came down to a nice little brawl for the center. And ultimately my team prevailed. Now I earned myself Confederate and I scored 134,000 points of damage. Nothing too exciting happening here, but I still found it to be an interesting match. I also found that at least a large part of our team was doing pretty well here in the center. We really had a lot of ships there. The enemies did as well, I guess. Now the enemies could have been a bit more aggressive and they were a bit too far to the north behind the islands, so they split themselves up a little bit too much, I guess. But in the end, it was a pretty nice brawl in the center. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I'll see you guys next time.